this is Laura Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and in today's video, I'll share my rationale for giving my kids Snapchat rather than Instagram. My kids both got their phones when they were in 7th grade. I would say social media was a way bigger deal when my daughter got her phone last year than even 3 years ago when my son got his. So her experience is probably a little bit more relevant than his was. At that time, both of these platforms were a little more straightforward. Instagram was and is a highly visual social media platform where you post artsy photos and selfies for your friends and followers to view and like and comment on. Snapchat was a silly point-to-point communication tool where you sent photos to friends that disappeared after a few seconds. So since that time, Snapchat has added lots of features that make it more like other feed-centric platforms. And Instagram has added features that make it a little bit more like Snapchat, but I was basing my decisions off of the social media platforms of then. So I really think that these decisions differ from kid to kid. If you know what your kid's weaknesses are, you can try to tailor social media choices to avoid issues. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I managed to do this, but that's what I was attempting. So here's my assessment of the danger of each platform. So Snapchat chats are temporary. So it is the medium of choice for cyberbullying and sending nudes. Nudes are either inappropriate or actual nude pictures. Instagram, with its overthought poses and aggressive feedback loop, I think, messes with the way that kids see themselves and others. So let me just say from the outset that I am not pretending to have all the answers, and I would never judge parents for making different decisions than I did. We are all just doing our best here with the limited information that we all have. So at any rate, I did a quick assessment of my kids' strengths and weaknesses, and I decided that I was less worried about them bullying and sending nudes from both a doing and a receiving perspective, and I was definitely worried about their burgeoning self-identity and their feelings of self-worth and some of the important values that I thought might be influenced by Instagram use. The developmental years when our kids get phones are crucial to the building of their identities. Developmental psychologists say that kids do a lot of their identity formation from the ages of 11 and 13. There's a reason that coming of age ceremonies for most major religions are right around this time, and it happens to be the time that kids also get phones. Kids figure out who they are, what they believe in, and what they think is important. And I think Instagram seriously messes with this process and the formation of these important values. So these are the parts of Instagram that bother me. Posed selfies. The need to be perfect is crazy ratcheted up on Instagram. Everyone is taking a billion selfies, they're editing the hell out of them, and they're actively curating their photos constantly. It's the exact opposite of one of the rules that I made for myself back when I was on Facebook, which was never to untag myself from unflattering pictures posted by others. I did this because my vanity is a real thing, and actively cultivating an image that looks different from reality is, to me, the height of inauthenticity. Values promoted: vanity, narcissism, and perfectionism. Next, visual. So Instagram is incredibly visual, which makes for arresting, artsy, interesting photos. But I would also argue that it is hard for this highly visual medium to be about more, or to be about much more than superficial stuff: status, looks, brand names. So for me, there's not enough room for the things that I think are important: compassion, empathy, moral support. The values: superficiality and materialism. Likes. Okay, I would probably argue that this is the most insidiously destructive part of Instagram for kids in the 11 to 13-year-old age range. Every time you post a photo, your followers can like or comment on it. People will wait until the very best time of day so that they can obtain the most possible likes. Photos live and die based on how many likes they garner. So you can see how this feedback loop might make it difficult for an early teen to stay centered and grounded, particularly since the more provocative the photo, the more positive reaction it will get. Values there: love and belonging through provocative photos. Less than. Okay, if everyone is carefully cultivating their Instagram feed, then it is certain that no one is representing themselves honestly. The photos are a little prettier than reality, and the life displayed is a little better than reality. But you know what? Early teens are not great at knowing the difference. I'm an adult, and I'm not great at internalizing this truth. So they are comparing what they know about their very real, messy lives to these plastic, two-dimensional showcases their friends or acquaintances are putting up on Instagram. It's impossible not to feel bad about themselves. Values, unworthiness. FOMO, or fear of missing out. Inevitably, friends on Instagram are gonna post pictures from events or get-together that your kid wasn't invited to. Even if they don't know the person that well, they will sometimes feel left out or excluded. So this happens with all feed-based social media, including Facebook. Eventually, your kid is gonna have to learn how to deal with this, but I would prefer to delay that until they are a little older and have better internal tools. Values, not belonging. And finally, Kim Kardashian. I find it profoundly weird that on Instagram you can follow friends and also celebrities and their posts all show up in the same feed. I don't know what this does to a kid's sense of reality. I mean, Kim Kardashian's idea of appropriateness is vastly different than that of a typical middle schooler, I hope. I mean, having cute pictures of your friends alongside Kid Kardashian's naked butt on a sink has to be completely disorienting for them. Values? So as I just said, in the past 2 years, Snapchat has added stories and a bunch of other features to its offering, which makes it a little more feed-based, even if they only stick around for 24 hours. But it still isn't nearly as posed or visual. My son just got an Instagram account this year. He's in 10th grade and is 15, and I expect my daughter will get one right around the same time and at the same age. By that time, I think she will have formed a better foundation of ideas around who she is, who she wants to be, and what she thinks is important. So don't get me wrong, Snapchat has not been a walk in the park for her. She has experienced some of the inevitable issues, mean stuff, and inappropriate photos. But in the end, I think it was the right call. But you know what? So much of this depends on talking to your kids and helping them to think critically about their actions and about what they're seeing. Each kid is totally different and each has different pitfalls. So let me know what you think. Comments are always appreciated, and thanks for watching.